Hi, this is Tom Wittick with Your Choice Realty, and you can find more information about me at justsellinghomes.ca. And today I wanted to talk about new standardized lease agreements that are going to become effective April 30th, 2018. Okay, so I do have some notes here, so I'm going to take a peek. Recently the Provincial government has released a new standardized lease agreement for private residential leases. So anytime you enter a lease agreement with a tenant for single homes, semi-detached houses, and townhomes, as well as apartment buildings, rented condominium units, and secondary units, such as basement dwellings, duplexes, and triplexes. These new standardized lease agreements are effective as of April 30th, 2018. The government states that all leases used by a landlord must be the newly enforced standardized lease. They emphasize that for any lease that is signed after April 30th, 2018, that is not the standard lease, your tenant will have the right to ask you for standardized lease in writing. You, as their landlord, are now required by the law to provide the new standardized lease agreement within 21 days of the written request. Here comes the stick. The new standardized lease agreement, if it's not provided, your tenant can withhold 1 month's rent. It's important for organized real estate industry to help landlords in this transition and to help to ensure that our clients, the landlords and the tenants, be given some flexibility in terms of the lease. The government did listen to our appeals and has included an additional items section in the new standardized lease agreement. This is section 15, which states the tenancy agreement includes an attachment with additional terms that the landlord and tenant agree to. It will be very interesting to see what landlords will try to put in such an attachment and whether such terms will comply with various legislations in the current law. If you require the new lease, contact me and I will be glad to send you one. You can reach me at justsellinghomes.ca. So why would the government implement the new standardized lease agreement? I personally think this is a benefit to both the landlord and the tenant. I did examine the standardized lease agreement, and I can share with you that it's a major improvement over the leases and structures that we had up to date. The issue was that the landlords were using all kinds of different leases with different wording, and some were using illegal clauses within these leases without even knowing about it. There are simply a few instances that you as landlord cannot legally make tenants do. The new standardized lease agreement will streamline the whole process and can cut down on what you can and cannot do. For example, many landlords and tenants did not know that the tenant is not required to pay rent by post-dated checks. Now, the new standardized lease agreement clearly states within the lease wording that the tenant cannot be required to pay rent by post-dated checks or automatic payments, but can choose to do so. And there are many examples just like that. I wonder how many major rental companies will deal with this new standardized lease agreement. I think we should all embrace it to make the transition smooth. In the end, this new lease will be a benefit to all parties involved. Now, I quote, "The landlord can only collect a deposit for the last month's rent, a refundable key deposit. The tenant does not have to provide any other form of deposit, such as pet or damage deposits." So the lease clause would read something like, the tenant will pay a deposit of number. This can only be applied to the rent for the last rental period of tenancy. This amount cannot be more than 1 month's rent or the rent for one rental period. Example, 1 week in a weekly tenancy, whichever is less. This cannot be used as damage deposit. So if you need any more information about the new standardized leases that come in effect on April 30, 2018, please do contact me at justsellinghomes.ca. And as well, I'm going to be putting this on the blog, the actual lease. You can just go to my website and grab it off the website. Okay, thank you. Tom Widek with Your Choice Realty, salesperson in Ottawa. Thank you.